Read on.
Even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people.
He said, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people. So I just want you to understand, yes, you are still supposed to keep these high days, and the Lord is letting you know clearly here. He said, if you are clean and you refuse to keep it, you will be cut off from among your people. Now, this is the cleanliness law, and we just ask that, and that's the only exception that the Lord made as far as showing up on the high days. But we do ask that if you have agreed to prepare a dish on these high days, that you don't do that if you are unclean. But yes, you can show up, but just don't prepare a dish. That is all that we ask. Now, the Bible makes it clear you can't show up. The only exception it makes is what we just read here about the Passover. Yes, you can show up, but just don't prepare a dish. But do be here. Now, let's go to Numbers chapter 5, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Numbers 5 and verse 1. 5 and 1. 5 and 1. Okay, go ahead and read.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying.
Now he's saying the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, go ahead and read.
Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper and every one that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead.
Now he said just put them out of the camp, because he didn't want the camp contaminated, because the Lord had made provisions at that time. There were provisions made that there were a place that everybody could go. If they were unclean by reason of a leper or a dead body or whatever, then there was a place that they could go. Go ahead and read on.
Both male and female shall ye put out.
Go ahead.
Without the camp shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps in the midst whereof I dwell.
See what it said, that they don't defile the camp in the midst where he dwells, so that they don't contaminate the camp in the midst where the Lord dwells. Go ahead, continue read.
And the children of Israel did so.
And they did as they was commanded. Go ahead and read.
And put them out without the camp. As the Lord spake unto Moses, so did the children of Israel.
So now there were provisions made that God had made provision at that time so that he could deal with the people that were unclean by reason of a dead body or leprosy or whatever. But I just want you to understand what it is that makes a person unclean. And we just ask that, when you are unclean by reason or any of this, that you just don't show up. You understand? That's what we asking. You know what I'm saying? Because it is in line with Scripture. With the exception, as I said, for the high days, then you show up regardless whether you're clean or whether you're unclean. But we're just asking that you don't prepare a dish. Now, let's go. Let's deal with the dietary law. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1, and we'll pick it up at verse 20. Genesis 1 and 20. Everybody want to throw these away. They got a few scriptures that they read that we are going to read too. They go over in Acts 10th chapter where the boys told Peter, rise, Peter, kill and eat. And they go over in Timothy where Paul quoted something that they try and use to circumvent the dietary law. We're going to read that as well. And they go into Matthew chapter 15 where Jesus was talking about eating with unwashed hands. So we're going to deal with all of that. We're going to deal with the scripture that they said that circumvents God's dietary law. And we are going to read them and see what they are really saying. But let's start. Now, what did I say? Genesis? Let's go to Genesis chapter 1 first. Genesis chapter 1, we're going to pick it up at verse 20. 1 and 20. 1 and 20. 1 and 20. Okay, go ahead and read.
And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
Now, he said, let the waters bring forth the moving creature and the fowls that fly in the open heaven. Go ahead and read.
And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
Now, everything that he created was good. It didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter what animal it was. It was good. But the question is, was it good to be eaten? That is the question. You understand what I'm saying? So now, because people like to read this, see, everything God created was good, and it was good. But everything that he created was not good to be eaten. He's going to make the separation a little bit later. And we're going to read where he made the separation. Now, it said, but everything that he made was truly good. Go ahead and read.
And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping thing and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so.
Go ahead and read.
And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
Now everything he made was good, but everything that he made was not good to be eaten. That is what we're going to find. It might have been good for something else. Maybe it was good to clean up the filth or something. You understand what I'm saying? But whatever it was that he made, it was good, but it was good for what? It was not, everything he made was not good to be eaten. Let's go over to Genesis chapter 6, and we'll begin reading at verse 17. Everybody have always heard of the 2x2. You know, they even made movies about the 2x2. You know, Noah built the ark, and he took the animals in 2x2. Everybody knows about that. But very few people know about the 7x7, but all they had to do was start reading around the 7th chapter of Genesis. That's all they had to do. You know, them Bibles that they take to church with them every Sunday, all they had to do was just read up to the 7th chapter of Genesis. You've been going to church 40 years, and you have not read up to the 7th chapter of Genesis yet. All you had to do, and then you would know about the 7x7s, because everybody know about the 2x2, but we're going to read the 2x2s first. Then we're going to read about the 7. Let's start reading at Genesis chapter 6 and begin at verse 17. Go ahead and read it, brother.
And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die.
Go ahead.
But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee.
What verse are we?
Verse 19 now.
Go ahead and read.
And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark.
Now he said, of every living thing of all flesh, he's telling Noah, bring 2 of them into the ark. Go ahead and read.
To keep them alive with thee, they shall be male and female.
Go ahead.
Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind.
Go ahead.
2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive.
Now he said, bring 2 of every sort to keep them alive. Go ahead and read on.
And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten.
Now he said, and take unto thee all food that is eaten. Apparently all food is not to be eaten, and it was not to be eaten. Go ahead and read on.
And thou shalt gather it to thee.
Go ahead.
And it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he.
Now going into the 7th chapter here, now he talked about the 2x2, didn't he? He said, bring into the ark 2x2 of all food that might be, and then he went on to talk about some food that might be eaten here. Now, start at 7 and 1. Go ahead and read.
And the Lord said unto Noah,
Go ahead.
Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation.
Go ahead and read.
Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7s the
male. Now he said, of every clean beast take unto you by 7. But then what was the 2 for? The 2 was for the unclean, because you need by 7s so that you had 8 people there. And they're going to be on that ark for 150 days. They got to eat something. You understand what I'm saying? If there was only 2, if you ate the male, then the species was gone. Or if you ate the female, then the species was gone. But the Lord said, bring them in that you might do what? That you might keep them alive. You could not keep them alive if you either ate the male or the female. Because if you ate the male, once the female died, then that species was gone.
Yes, sir.
So now, since you have to eat something for these 150 days that you're going to be on the ark, then take the clean animals by 7. And apparently, you don't see what God said, well, this clean, this clean, this clean, that's clean. I'll let you know that God had already informed them as what is clean and what is not clean. You understand what I'm saying? So the dietary law did not start in Leviticus chapter 11. Way back here in Genesis, they knew about the clean and they knew about the unclean. So now, he said, take the clean by 7s. Go ahead and read.
And of beasts that are not clean by 2.
And beasts that are not clean by 2. Because you ain't going to be eating none of them. And then they had to do sacrifices as well. And you ain't going to sacrifice none of them. But you got to eat something So I'll have 7 of the clean beef, so that way you'll have something to eat without